Hello world, it is Monday, August 10th. I'm on vacation, but I'm still going to do these daily devotionals since I read the devotional every day anyway. It's a very warm and humid day today. I did get up kind of early and went running, but it was kind of miserable. It was not the best day. So I think we're going to get a break later in this week. The devotional for today is entitled Let's Talk About Giving. And it's written by Kenneth Samuel. And he bases it on a part of verse from John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that God gave. And Kenneth writes, there's no better place to begin a consideration of what we should give back to God than with an appreciation for what God has given to us. Heaven's treasury was absolutely depleted when God gave God's only begotten Son as a ransom for many. When God gave us Jesus, God didn't just give us the best that God has. God gave us all that God has and all that God is. According to John's Gospel, the motivation for God's gift was love. Where would we be today if God had only loved us without giving us a gift that visibly and tangibly expressed that love? The world is full of people who claim to love certain people, certain causes, and certain institutions. But loving without giving tangibly is either insincere or irresponsible. A pastoral colleague of mine often jokes that if her church could be financed by prayers and well wishes alone, she'd never have to worry about meeting her annual church budget. I always laugh when she says it, but we both know it's not a joke. As we consider what we should tangibly give to support the work of God through our church, we should seek to be more aware of the tangible gifts of love that we have received. The God who provides for us is the God who provides through us. The magnitude of what God calls us to give should reflect our gratitude for the magnitude of what God has given us. The greatest giver of all deserves our very best gifts and our very best sacrifices. And Kenneth's prayer: Great giver, thank you for love that is tangible. Amen. A couple things that struck me as I read this devotional. One is how too often in the past when there's been some sort of gun-related violence, some people immediately say thoughts and prayers. And that's not really giving, just to say thoughts and prayers. We need to take action and do something, I think. And the same is true of the church, or really any organization that we love and care about. If we don't support it monetarily, all the thoughts and prayers in the world aren't going to really do much for furthering the intent and the purpose and the calling of that in particular institution, and the church is no different. I'm very grateful for our congregation who has continued to support St. John UCC in this time of the pandemic, because one of the main focal points of any church is really their weekly worship. And we are still having weekly worship. It's just online and recorded. Also sending out some hard copies of the liturgy and the bulletins and the sermons, as well as electronic copies of things. So I just greatly appreciate everyone who continues to support us, and I hope you will continue to do that and look for those organizations that are doing good in the world that you feel proud about and want them to do something, and help them. It's all about giving to further God's will in the world. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow.